Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and I am here with a haul. And you guys, shopping is a drug and you have to just say no. And I keep saying yes and I'm frustrated with myself. But nevertheless, I've got some new things to show you as a result. So let's get started. First, I'm going to show you the things that I got at the antique mall, one of the antique malls that I like to go to. There's a couple of booths in this particular antique mall that I like to visit. They sometimes will have ephemera packs or just they're more likely to have paper products that I like to look for. And those were kind of a bust this time, but I did find a few other things. So I think, yes, in this bag I brought down the TV trivia. But I've got stuff from the antique haul. We went to Goodwill and Five Below and Target. So I don't know if we'll get to all of those in this video. I thought about doing it live. Now you guys let me know if you think I should, because if I did it live, it would just be there, right? I wouldn't have to actually upload anything, would I? And then it would be done. Because part of my problem is finding time to do the upload and stuff. But this weekend, so this is Sunday, yesterday was Gabby's graduation, and it was more exhausting than I thought, or this whole weekend has been more exhausting than I thought it would be. But everything went well with the graduation, and so that's kind of nice to have that done. And then we went over to then last night we did, so our gift to Gabby for graduation was money, but that money would have to cover any kind of a celebratory meal that she might want to do, and she did want to do a meal. She didn't want to just get all cash to go buy something. So she picked Tucanos, which is a Brazilian grill. And if you're not familiar with that, they come around with meat kind of on a stick, and then they'll carve you some, all different kinds. And then there's a salad bar that's got salads, and it does have some hot things too in case you don't really like meat, I guess. But they're known for their cheese bread. They have like these cheese balls with cheese inside. And I think you can get those at Costco and Sam's Club in the freezer section, actually. And then they're also known for their fried bananas, like sliced bananas. So that was pretty good. And they are known for their Brazilian lemonade, which has a dairy component to it. So that was all really good. So, and then today we went over to my parents for cake to celebrate, and that went pretty well. And my parents got to meet the boyfriend. So yeah, so I think, so now, and then after that, everybody kind of went their own way, and Jason and I went to Alton to do some, well, I was really just going to look, but that's just not a possibility for me. So anyway, we got to the antique store, and I found in one booth some not antique, is it antique? 1935 is when this Monopoly game was from. And so it's 90 years old. So it came, this pack here came with the little booklet and of course all of the money. And I have found the vintage money before, and the way you know it's vintage is because it has a copyright right there on the money. So other people, and granted, vintage, people argue about whether that's 20 years old or 50 years old, but you can obviously still find vintage Monopoly money that doesn't have a date, because I don't know when they stopped putting the copyright date on here, but I think as early as the 60s, maybe it didn't have that on there, and it was bigger. So this is smaller. So that's one good way to know if you're getting the old stuff, but it's still kind of, you know, all the same colors basically, except they're just a little bit more muted. It's very hard to tell the difference between the, or maybe there are no 50s in this one? Huh. Yeah, there's no 50s in this one. I don't know if that's because there were no 50s in the game at that point, perhaps. I don't know why just the 50s would be missing from this. But, yeah. So this would have probably been, I don't know how old Monopoly is, but I have to think that this would have been pretty close to the beginning. So, okay, so this one pack had the money, and then what else is this? The instructions, rules for short games of Monopoly. And I'm trying to see on here if, I don't know if all these pieces went together. I don't know if all these pieces happened to be in the same game, because there was no board or anything. These were just in like a little basket of, mostly this particular booth has a ton of Girl Scout and Boy Scout vintage badges. So, okay, well, since we like nostalgia on this channel, this is a little booklet that says the other games that are made by Parker Brothers. So we've got Dig and Contact, in case any of you remember those fun games. So Contact looks like Triominoes, sort of. No, it really does. So perhaps it got rebranded as that. Dig is a letter game. Sorry. Now that one is pretty easy to remember. And then we've got Camelot and Citadel. And then Rook, Pit, Touring. Oh, now see, I would really like to get Touring because that's the same as Mille-Borne, which is, I guess, the French version. And I like Mille-Borne better. That's what I used to play with when I was a kid. But it's when you're trying to go on a trip and you're trying to rack up so many miles, but then somebody could give you a flat tire or a stop sign or something, and then flinch. And then on the back, it's got El Dorado, Teddy Bear Panda, Dogfight, Conflict, Tom Hamilton's Pigskin, Crossword Lexicon, Crow Hunt. Oh, I should look for that one. Pollyanna, Quiz Kids, Quick Wit, Ping Pong, and Peggotty, or Peggotty, I don't know. All right, so that was in this one. But yeah, I love finding stuff like this because these can go in junk journals very easily and people can write on the back. There's plenty of space for you to write a little note. I am almost done gathering the base pages for my first 5 junk journals that I'm going to actually make myself. And then I will be ready to start doing the fun stuff of filling it with pockets and all kinds of goodness. So then she also had the property pieces. I don't know if they're all here or not, but there was a bag of those. And then, see, that's how you make money with this stuff, is you break it up and sell it all separately. And then the bag of the Chance and Community chess cards. All right, then I also found this place, there's one booth that just has a big Tupperware bucket full of cards, and they're kind of pricier than I would like to spend, but they're cheaper than eBay. So, but they have a lot of like touristy cards. So like if you go to Florida, you know, you can pick up a deck of cards. And I have a whole bunch of those kind of cards because Jason and I collected cards and keychains when we would go places. But those aren't really the kind of cards I like to do with my vintage card swap. I don't know why, because I think, you guys, I watched a Whatnot video or a Whatnot show where Auntie Petunia, I think is her name, in case you want to look her up on Whatnot. But she must have gobs and gobs of different decks of cards, because she did a whole show of just, she would put up like 12 different cards on like a nail polish stand, and then people would bid. She'd start the bids at $3, and whoever won the bid got to pick 4 of the cards, and so they're all different. She doesn't repeat any in the show, and you guys, she made tons of money doing that. And she must just have, I think she's been collecting for a long time. And she said she used to just collect jokers and she'd throw the rest of the deck away, which I thought was funny because most games don't use jokers. So you still would have had a full deck of cards to just play with, play games with. But yeah, she'd throw them away until she realized, well, that's dumb. And then I think, it kind of became a thing to, there's so many collectors out there that just want one of, okay, this has got some kind of grimy something on it. But yeah, there's so many people out there that just want one of every card they find that they don't have. And they have, like you can have an album of baseball cards. Well, they use those same card sleeves and put playing cards. And I was like, well, that is smart. I should get myself well, actually, I have some baseball card sleeves for Pokemon because I used to play Pokemon, and I could easily do that with my cards. That might be kind of nice. But yeah, so I also, but yeah, she sold a ton, but she had a ton. Like I have 32 listings on my Etsy shop right now for vintage card swaps. But some of them, the double decks came with just 2 that were identical. So I'd say I probably have maybe 55 to 56 different cards for sale. And that's not including like my Temu cards. So I need to get all those together because I think now I'm learning they don't have to be vintage. They're just looking for something different. But this particular shop, it had a lot of the state. Ew, what is this? It's like, ew. I don't know what it is, but it's like Vaseline or something. It's kind of, I keep getting distracted. So they have a lot of the state ones, like visitor ones, but then they also have a lot. I bet it was like the goo from when you're trying to remove tape that's been on there for a long time. Or at least that's what I'm going to say so I don't gross myself out. But anyway, I like ones like this, double decks, where it's 2 different images. And so these will be I'll be listing these in my shop. But I also thought about doing, eBay right now is offering, if you sell something, I don't know if it's for $10 or $15, they'll give you a $50 credit to spend on eBay. And I was like, well, heck yeah, that's a good deal. So I'm looking for some things to sell on eBay. So I thought about making a set of just one of each of my cards and, listing it as a big set. So we'll see. We'll see if I do that. But anyway, I got those cards. And then that same bucket also had, I love getting the Norman Rockwell cards. These had never been opened, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but it at least ensures the whole deck is here. I have a lot of different Norman Rockwell ones, but some of them are out in the storage unit when we were trying to clear up some space. So see, this is the thing. If I would stop going shopping, I would have the time to start organizing all the stuff I shopped. But that's not as much fun as the shopping, you guys. It is such a dopamine rush to go shopping for me that it really is like a drug. I guess I need to be in like Shoppers Anonymous or something. I don't know. All right, then the last thing I got from the antique store was this beautiful book. So, Rand McNally World Atlas Premier Edition. I mean, it's in bad shape. It is from 1940. And it's got tons of indexing in the back, which is good for background pages and stuff. But you guys, the maps in this are beautiful. Let me find, well, let's just do Michigan because we've got some pretty water. But all the pages, well, you can see both. All the pages use this coloring. And I just really, really like it with the turquoise and the yellow, and it's outlined in orange, and the counties are all outlined. So I love it. Now I wish that this was like a decent size where I could just frame these prints and sell them as singlets, because they don't cross. Oh, well, I say that, and then Central Europe crosses over. But yeah, most of them, well, I don't know. I like it. It's probably not the kind of thing you frame, but it is vintage. I mean, getting super close, 15 years away from antique status, and it's in pretty decent shape overall. So there'll be several. I plan to, I think, have some kind of listing of these map pages. Sorry, there's fuzz now from the book. Some kind of listing for these map pages in my shop. All right, so I'm gonna move this stuff, and then I'm gonna come back with the next part of this haul. I'm gonna have to piece all of these together. I need to remind me that this part was 18 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, so next I've got the stuff from Dollar Tree, Five Below, and Target. And that will just leave me with the stuff from Goodwill, which maybe will end up being a separate video. So we'll see. All right, I'll do Target first since it's in a bag together. I got some gum. I try to keep one of these in the van, but Gregory goes through this pretty quickly. So I got a refill of that. And then, okay, so I was talking to you about doing my gel nails, and the one little, hold on. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Okay, anyway, this little light that I got from Temu, I think doesn't work very well because it just doesn't seem to cure very well. So I don't know if it's not strong enough or what, because this is one of the ones that once it's plugged in, it's on. So I have it plugged into one of those Temu USB power strips that you can turn each plug on and off, and then I'll just turn it on when I'm ready to cure and turn it back off. But I've had problems with the quality of the cure when I've used this. So I do like my little handheld one, but again, it's for a single nail. Like yesterday in the car after graduation, Jason wanted to play Pokemon. So while he was playing Pokemon, I peeled this nails polish off and redid it right in the car, because I have my little, I took my Firmoo glasses case, which was a nice plastic case, and put my base coat, my top coat, my color coat, and a nail file, and then that little wand in it, so I can always have it on the go with whatever color I'm currently wearing. So that way, if I peel it off, either because I'm anxious or because it's just ready to come off, I can fix it before I have a meeting or something, because it's really easy to do that while I'm still working. So anyway, I decided to look in Target to see if they had a good no wipe top coat, and then that was the wrong thing to do, because then I got sucked into buying something, a complete set, which was, you know, cost more than a bottle of top coat. But I decided, because so many people are impressed with Olive and June for their fake nails, I thought I would give this brand a try. And so this box, I believe, comes with a light, and it comes with, okay, well, let me tell you what it comes with. It comes with a 5-finger LED lamp with USB cord, and I guess I could be opening this up and showing you. This tool is not made for cutting tape. All right, let's peel this open. Still need to do my toes so I can start wearing sandals. But now that I have this 5, because we're not going to be surprised, but I can't find my Temu 5-finger one, which does work well. Oh, okay. Why do they make these boxes so hard to open? It's like it catches in here. So then you're trying to open it, and it and the bottom is like this. So I guess they don't really want you to be able to store this stuff back in the box when you're done with it or not using it. Okay. All right, so let me take this part out. All right, so it's got a 5-finger LED lamp, gel lamp with USB cord. Are these, oh, these things are on the front. It's got instructions. USB cord. It is it just USB on both sides? No, it's USB-C on there. And I like this one. This one looks a little bit nicer than the Temu one because it's got all this reflective surface. So let's see me in infinity, and let's make this our thumbnail, right? All right, so if you do a quick press, you'll get a 1-minute cure, and if you do a long press, you'll get a 2-minute cure. That just means the light will shut off after that time. It also has lights on the sides, which is different than my Temu one, which means while my hands are sitting on here, it can also be, you know, hitting the sides. So I really like, I mean, that seems like a really good one. Okay, and then let me get that back in place there. Then you also get Mini Olive and June Peel Off Base Coat. So here's the thing. I've never used a peel off base coat before. Let me find it. Peel off base coat. I've never used a peel off one, and honestly, I don't understand why you'd want a peel off one because mine already peel off. Now, this is probably saying it will peel off so that it doesn't damage your nails, and I can tell when I peel this off, it does pull away you know, some nail, and maybe this doesn't, but wouldn't it, it seems to me like it would be easier for these to fall off then, or to peel off, because if it already peels off pretty easily, wouldn't this make it even easier? So I don't know, I'm gonna find out. And then it comes with a mini Olive and June gel polish base coat. And these are heavy, like they feel like glass ceramic bottles. Obviously with gel polish, you've got to have a light barrier. So a lot of times it'll be in a black, the same kind of bottle you would use for essential oils, or you'll see them like this, but it's a hefty feeling bottle. And then mini Olive and June gel polish top coat. Now it doesn't say no wipe top coat, so maybe that means I will have to wipe it with I bought some alcohol wipes, you know, the kind that are in the little tear thing. So maybe I'll need to use that with it. I don't know. And then it comes with a file buffer, prep pad, and wooden cuticle pusher. I do not do anything with my cuticles when I do my nails. That kind of freaks me out. I don't like the idea of pushing things back, cutting things off. I don't like that. So I don't do anything with that. So as a result, my manicure probably doesn't look as professional as it would, obviously, from a professional. And then it says, just add your favorite shade of Olive and June gel polish. Now, I will say, I didn't feel like Target had a very good supply of color polishes. They had maybe 20. And half of those were neutrals, if not more were neutrals, which I do not like wearing neutrals. And of the colors, about half of, actually probably about, so say there were 10 non-neutral colors, and the neutrals were probably for French manicure kind of thing. So of the ones that were just colors, only about 3 of them were dark colors, and I prefer to wear dark colors generally. I don't know why, I just do. I have such fair skin that I want it to pop. So I ended up, they did have, I mean, burgundy is probably my favorite, but the burgundy looked like it would be a little bit on the brown side, so I didn't pick it, so I went with black. So here is, they actually call it E&M. So I don't know what the E&M is supposed to be, but yeah. So black. So I thought maybe I would do a hand video. People don't call it that. Whatever. I don't know. I thought maybe I would do a video where I did my nails with this kit to see what I thought of it. So perhaps we will see one of those videos coming up, and it might help spur me on to do one of those if I see in the comments that people think that would be a good idea. All right, so that's what I got from Target, and the price for that Olive and June kit was $24.99, and the price for the single polish was $9.99. So way more expensive than Temu. With Temu, you could have gotten probably 12 polishes for $9.99. They have tons of 6-color sets on Temu, and I have not had any problem with the colored polishes on Temu. They have all worked well for me. And typically, even the base coat and the top coats have worked well for me. I think it's really because that one lamp just wasn't as strong as it needed to be. So yeah, so perhaps if you guys think that's a good idea, we will do a nail kit or a nail show. All right, next, let's pull this bag and just see what this one is. Okay, this is, so you guys, Five Below is my favorite destination for all things strawberry shortcake. And I have more of an affinity for strawberry shortcake than, say, Rainbow Bright or Care Bears, because I had a strawberry shortcake lunchbox and tote bag, and I had the little figurines. I can still smell what that smells like. And I just didn't have, I don't know, Rainbow Bright was kind of in the same time period. Well, okay, strawberry shortcake came out in the 70s. Maybe Rainbow Bright was more in the 80s, because that's when kind of those bright rainbow colors really kind of came into play in the mid 80s. And Care Bears, of course. And I was never a big stuffed animal person, so that kind of that's probably why I didn't get Care Bears. But I think I had Care Bear stickers. And oh, I got to tell you something about stickers. But anyway, I just didn't like those other two things as much as strawberry shortcake. Okay, I'm doing this. A lady I worked with years and years ago, I saw her walking around the office like this, and I'm like, why is your fingers crossed? She's like, that's how I remember things. You guys, I was looking up sticker books on eBay. Actually, where is my phone? Because I want to show you. I found the sticker book that I had, and the one, darn it, which bag has my phone? So I had two different sticker books. I had a squishy one, I don't know what you'd call it, but, and I had like just almost like a letter size one that, well, the pages inside the squishy are not, I don't know how to, it was like a puffed, the one was puffed and one was just flat. Well, I found both of those on eBay because I was just curious. I was like, what if I wanted to sell my sticker book? Now, I would not sell my sticker book because I have such strong nostalgic feelings about that. And it's got my scratch and sniff stickers in it and stuff. So I can't part with that. But it's of course in the last bag I look in. So you guys are gonna flip. Well, I flipped, maybe you won't. And I'm okay. Now we've got the squirrel going by and we're getting all distracted, but hang on. There's something else I want to show you to see if anybody else remembers this, because you know I'm into nostalgia, right? Who else remembers Chewel's gum? So it had a liquid center, and they were kind of square pieces that you would put in, and once you chewed down, this liquid center would come out. And I remember my grandma, when I would go visit them for a week each summer, she would buy me a pack from Jewel, because they had Jewel in Lafayette, and this was before it was Jewel-Osco. And she would get me Chewel's gum. And Jason had never heard of it. And it just, because I was saying how I got my son, you know, I was okay with buying him this because he's never going to experience the joy of having tasted Chewel's bubble gum. Okay, well, anyway, that was a little detour. Let me get to eBay. And now, who knows if they'll actually be able to sell this thing for the price. And I can't remember if it was a buy it now or if it was an auction. Now, the one I had came in blue or pink, and I had the pink version. And of course, stickers are, you know, popular again. So there's a ton of actual just books on here that have stickers in them. Okay, here was the blue version of the one I had. Let me make sure my Do Not Disturb is on. All right, here's the blue version of the one I had. Sorry. And 1980s, right? Here's the price, $125, you guys. And this is, it must be a buy it now. Yeah, it's a buy it now. You can make 4 interest-free payments. But yeah, $125. Okay, and then let's just, because we, oh, see, they had some Michael Jackson stickers. You know they had to have a page of scratch and sniff. And who would put stickers in their sticker book and then peel them back out and put them on a different page? Yeah, I think, so they had some of the old scratch and sniff stickers there. Okay, so that was the blue one. Let me see. Here's another blue one for the same price, so it's probably the same store. Okay, here's a blue one. This one takes bids or best offer. You guys, the starting price on this one, $249.99. $249.99. Like, what? And who remembers puffy stickers are starting to come back? We have some puffy stickers in here. And oh, they don't really seem to have had, I don't know, the scratch and sniff ones are my favorite. So $249.99. I think actually, I think that's how much the pink one I was watching was also listed for. And I'm not even seeing the pink one. What if it's sold for that price? I'm not even seeing my other. Did I do a different search? Sticker book vintage. Maybe I did sticker book vintage. Okay, here's my flat one. I had this flat one. And it just had different kind of pages. You guys, this one, $220. It's a 0 bid. It's got 5 days left. I should watch it, right? I should watch it and see what it goes for. I should watch this blue one. Now, is the pink one still in here? Okay, here's the pink. Oh, well, this pink one, they're only offering it for $69.99. Now, I'll show you the pink one just because, but it's just like the blue one. But I kid you not, I did see a pink one for the $2.99. But since we saw the blue one for that, or the $2.49, since we saw the blue one, I'll stop. But yeah, crazy. So anyway, we got onto that tangent because we were talking about strawberry shortcake, and Matt the Gnat is flying around in here. I guess it's that time of the year. So, and they're always getting new strawberry shortcake things, the jerks. So this time I got the Apple Watch Band. So does it also, so it shows a strawberry on here. I wonder if there is a, I haven't looked to see if, what I could do to get that same strawberry. But anyway, so I got the watch band. I'm pretty sure this was $5.55. And then, oh, so I got this bento box, but I didn't get it to use as a bento box. I got it to use as a ephemera box, because I've been taking, as I've been preparing things for the journals that I'm going to make, I'm having scrap paper. So I've been taking my Stampin' Up! Punches and punching out hearts and tabs and other shapes. And so I thought I would start keeping those in this, because like a bento, because it is a bento box, it's got, oh, shoot. Well, it's also got, can carry it like this, like a little lunch or a picnic basket. And then it's got these to open it. And then it comes with a fork and a spoon and a cool tag. And then here's the top layer. So any of the bigger things that I cut out will go in here, because I'm also doing strips, because I found that there were several creators selling paper strips in their stores. So I thought, okay, I'll put the strip, I could put the strips in this, and then you take this out, and then I can put like the tabs, and I could put the big hearts and stamps like in this big one, and then I've got flowers I think that could fit in that one. So just a cute little, like, I really, this is dumb. Why this is why TikTok and Instagram are of the devil, because I watch those and they have such great ideas, and I'm like, I want to do those. And I saw somebody stores all of their ephemera stuff in old caboodles, and I have an old caboodle, but they had like 6 old caboodles, and even though I've got stuff to store things in, it's not as cute as those caboodles. And that's the problem. That's the problem when you have a shopping addiction, right? So anyway, here's my little bento box. This, I'm sure, also was $5.55. All right, let me find the other bag for... Okay, here's the rest of the Five Below. So I found this cursive letter, right, which I thought would be cute in junk journals, but I thought maybe I would try tea dyeing these pages, because, you know, to make them look a little bit older, since I prefer vintage looking things. But it's cute. So for people that want their kids to still learn cursive writing, you could still, you know, help them learn, because they don't teach that anymore. And I mean, it's got numbers, so it tells you what to do first. Now there is a channel on TikTok. I don't know, are they called channels on TikTok? I don't know. But there is someone on TikTok who does initials. So they have like an iPad, and people will send in requests like, hey, can you do AK, which would have been my maiden name initials. And so I'm saying he, I don't know if it's a he or a she, but the person will do like 4 different variations of initials, like fancy, like cool looking initials. So I don't know, I just like calligraphy and all that kind of stuff. So, and this kind of, you know, don't you guys remember learning cursive? So it took me back. And this, I think, was, well, actually, I think this was it says $5.99 back here, but I think it was $5.55 or $5. I don't know why some things are $5 and some things are $5.55. And then I found these necklaces. So we've got strawberry shortcake, and then was this orange blossom? I think so. It looks, I mean, she's orange, but, and they are Berry Bestie necklaces. And it's got a little heart charm that says, okay, one says berry and one says bestie. So obviously this is for little kids to give to their best friend, but no, when I get, you guys, I need to get all decked out in my strawberry shortcake stuff. Come on and do a video while I'm wearing every single thing I bought that's strawberry shortcake, and I can wear this necklace. This, I think, was only $3 something. And then the last thing I got, oh, I have the receipt. Let's see. Oh, no. The necklace was $5, and the book was $5. Jason got a lava lamp, and And then the last thing I got, this thing was only $3.25. And it is Magnet Creations. I think it's kind of like Color Forms only with magnets. But I liked it because of the tin. Hopefully I picked out a tin that wasn't damaged. But I just thought this would be, you know, I don't know if it's the influence of Seven Plaza or if it's just because I like to shop. But now it's like, okay, I could get boring old storage containers, which actually I'm going to show you some from Dollar Tree. Or I could get these cute kind of ones. And, I mean, it's not going to hold very much, but maybe it holds all of my antique postcards. Or maybe it holds my strawberry shortcake journal that I bought several times ago. All right, so we've got, it says it comes with 40 magnetic play pieces. Join Strawberry Shortcake and her friends with Magnetic Creations, the fun-filled play space and storage in one. So, let me open it. Oh, it's on a hinge. We like that. So we've got the play space is the inside of the tin, and I think I managed to get one that doesn't, oh, there's one little ding. There's one little ding down here. Maybe, yeah, you can see. But anyway, so you've got your little play space, and then you've got, it came with a piece of paper to keep the magnets from sticking. So you get this page of magnets. So if I use these, I'm probably going to put them on the refrigerator because I don't really want them for this. I wanted this for the storage. So, but yeah, that's a pretty cute little gift. A young kid would love playing with something like that, I would think. And it's possible, well, there's no, like, I was going to say, it's possible you could harvest some of the space around the magnets to pull off and use for your own magnetic. Well, you still could. They just would be jagged. Like if you wanted to salvage this white piece, you could, you know, if you have some magnetic needs. And then this was the back. So I thought that was cute. So yeah, so I'm happy with all of those purchases. And then probably the last part of this video, because we had 18 minutes before, we're already at 30 minutes. So I'll do the Dollar Tree and then we'll save Goodwill for the next video, which I may film right now so I can get the stuff off of my bed. Unless I find out that Jason's going out tomorrow and then I could film it on the bed tomorrow maybe. And I'd still have to move it so we could sleep, but you know. Okay, so at the Dollar Tree, I'm always looking for crafty things, obviously, because that's, you know, kind of my thing. And I have been intrigued lately with napkins. Now, I don't know if these napkins are held over from last year or if they're just super early for this year, but they are Harvest napkins. And there's 24 in here for $1.25. And I do botanical ephemera kits, and I thought there's lots of people that do. I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. I don't know how loud it is, but we've got some game playing in Gabby's room, and she's very competitive. So anyway, I know a lot of people do crafting with napkins where they will kind of wet the napkin and put it on, say, a dictionary page or something, and then let it dry, and it creates this cool effect. So I've been looking for napkins. So I found these. All the napkins were $1.25 because heaven forbid, why would you pay more than that for napkins? So these first 4 sets were all from the Harvest seasonal collection, which this just isn't the right season. So, but because they were botanicals, I picked them up. You would think they would have been on sale, but they weren't. And then I've got this pack, Harvest Blessings. And sorry, they got separated. And then this was the other harvest one. So I thought, well, I already told you what I thought. I thought they would be good for crafting. So then I got these. Who doesn't like a pink flamingo? Because I like birds and flowers, so this is both. So I could technically use this in either my bird ephemera kits or my botanical one. And it's a pretty pink, and there's 25 in these. And I thought this one was really pretty. And this one. So, and then of course in the party section, like these were in the seasonal section, so those were all technically in the summer display areas, but obviously if you go back into the party supplies, you can find different napkins for different, you know, for birthdays and that kind of thing. Then I also picked up a pair of garden gloves for my daughter who's been working in the yard, cutting down brush and stuff. So I got her, I don't even know if they'll fit though, because it's one size fits most, but they're stretchy, so maybe. But if they don't fit, they probably will fit me for anything I feel like I need gloves for. But they of course had multiple different colors, and I like these the best. And then my son was asking for glue stick the other day to work on a present that he was making for Gabby's graduation, and we couldn't find any. And actually, I discovered later the reason why he wanted this was he had seen probably a YouTube short, somebody making a graduate out of a glue stick. So the glue stick was the graduate body, and he wanted to do that. So he ended up making one with paper. But he also needed glue. So I bought one of these to go in the supply drawer. And then I picked up, I thought this tissue paper was pretty, so I picked this up. I thought this would be pretty to wrap things that I sell. And then I had never seen these at Dollar Tree before, but Jason had. And we go, like I said, we go to lots of different Dollar Trees because we're always trying to see because they don't all have the same thing, as you know. So we're always trying to find new things. Well, this was the first time I had seen these corrugated file folders. And, you know, so they're like magazine holders. Well, I wanted these because, for one, they're pretty. And as I'm breaking down books for junk journals or ephemera packs, I am putting them into protector sleeves, and then I need something to put those protector sleeves in so that they're standing up. So I got 5 of these because there were only 3 of these purple ones, and I wanted 4, but then there were only 2 of these, so then I was just like, get all 5, and they coordinate. So that will help be another way to help me stay organized. And then I also got, we needed some quart-size freezer bags. And then we got this for the cats. It's got a little suction cup, so we're gonna try to, we have hardwood floors upstairs, so I'm gonna try to put this on the floor next to their scratching post to see if they'll play with it. Like, I don't think it has a bell or anything. And it doesn't say anything about catnip, but they like, you know, the feathers and stuff, so I thought maybe they'd try playing with it. And it's been a little while since we got them something. And then I got another set of these because I saw a craft video where someone had made ephemera envelopes out of circles, and like big circles, and well, for one, my die cutting machine is not a big one, And so I do have a Cricut, so I could cut out circles with it, but that would take a long time, right? So I just was like, this is close enough. And let's see, I'm not sure if I will remember exactly, how do I open this? I was thinking it would have a, like, be one of those where you can, like a Temu bag, but no, it appears to be fully sealed. So let's just see if I can, maybe I want to rip. Oh. Good grief, girl, get it open. Where are my scissors? Okay, let's take a drink break real quick. Fazoli's. Had Fazoli's for dinner. I got the loaded chicken Alfredo, and I was kind of disappointed because the mushrooms were canned mushrooms, which that's fine, but they were still, canned mushrooms tend to be on the watery side, you know, so they like hadn't cooked them long enough to get them to taste more like the good kind of mushroom texture. And the broccoli was frozen broccoli, not fresh broccoli, which again is fine, but it's just not the same. And I know this is a fast food Italian, so I really shouldn't be very picky. But Jason got, ravioli is back, I guess. Jason got the loaded ravioli, which was, or maybe it wasn't loaded, maybe it was just the grilled the chicken Alfredo ravioli. So it was cheese ravioli topped with Alfredo sauce and crispy chicken breast. It was so good, you guys. I really was regretting that I hadn't just gotten that too. But I'm always hopeful that the thing with the vegetables will be good, but it just really wasn't. Okay, so I'm probably not going to remember how the person did this, but you guys, I don't know if it was as simple. I'm just gonna do, probably gonna ruin this one. Like, I don't know if it was as simple, if it was as simple as this, and then they would glue the sides, and then they would also, on the back, glue around here so you could have a pocket behind this part too. Maybe that's all it was. But, so that's why I got these. Now, I like to also tea dye these, but you could, if you have, like I used to do Stampin' Up, so I have a ton of different colored ink bottles to re-ink ink pads, so you could easily put that in the water that you soak these in instead if you want different colors. But I don't know if this is right, but this seems easy enough to me, because then you've got a pocket, and then you could kind of have a pocket here, and then you could have a pocket back here. And it looks so pretty, doesn't it? And then just think if it was tea or coffee stained, it would look really vintage. So that's why I got these. And of course I got them in different colors. So maybe somebody out there in YouTube land or TikTok land has shown other variations so that you can get more intricate with this, maybe. I don't know. Because the other reason why I was going to use these was, like, this is probably the right size for the Reader's Digest junk journals that I'm doing, where I would just cut it in half and have half of the page. Now, granted, that only gives you this much to write on both sides, but it's a pretty factor, right? Or you could have half of this glued down to a page to where people can stick things in here. There's all kinds of things you can do with these, not even related to junk journaling. But yeah, so that's why I got those. And there's 32 in there. I don't know if you get 8 of each size, but okay. And then was that it? hold on, that might have been it. No. One more bag. All right, I got my favorite crosswords to keep in the van so that when we're going places, even if it's just short trips, we can work through this together in the van, Jason and I. And then I also got these to use with this. So these, and they are the different colors. They're mechanical pencils. So yeah, and you can tell the ink or the lead in there. So they're really colored pencils, mechanical colored pencils. And it looks like a pretty big, it's a 2.0mm lead. And it does say they're refillable. So I don't know. I don't ever see 2.0. Usually see what, 0.5 and 0.7. So this is like huge compared to that, which is good for, well, maybe it's not good for this though. I don't know. But I wanted a color because I kind of wanted it to, I want to use a different color each day kind of thing. So I can see how many days it takes us to finish one puzzle. I know that's dumb, but that's kind of how my brain works. So we got that. And then, you guys, I love these. I didn't realize that Dollar Tree had started to carry these. They had these and they had the twistable colored pencils, the 12 pack. Is it 12 pack? Maybe 16 pack. It was more than just, yeah, I think it was like 8 across. So I think it was a 16 pack of colored pencils, but I went with the crayons, and these I'm going to have to keep to myself. So because I've had these before and they don't get treated very well, so they're going to have to go in something. I need to buy a tin. No, I think I got some tins from Goodwill that I'm going to show you in the next haul that these could go in. But yeah, I love these, you guys, and they're not the best for young kids because they just don't know how to take care of them. So you don't want to spend a lot of money on crayons for them. But once they get into that middle school age, then I think these are great. But again, these are for me. And these were more expensive. I think these were $3 something. And then the last thing I got was another toy for the cats. I liked this one because it had 2 for 1 price, but it's got crinkly paper in it and it's got catnip. And so of course I got ketchup and mustard. So, and $1.25. So that's it for the haul. That is long enough for this video. And I'll do a separate video for Goodwill. And let's do our nostalgic TV trivia. You saw me bring that down. Where did I put it? Under my phone. All right. You ready? What deodorant makes you laugh? What famous trumpeter, no, well, you could say that, but this says, what famous trumpet player hosted the musical variety show Fanfare? On what network was the concentration quiz show? What was the featured law firm in The Defenders? What was the nickname given to the head nurse who starred in MASH? What was WKRP's musical format? What was Mr. Cleaver's first name on Leave It to Beaver? Robin is the secret identity of Dick Grayson on what series? Okay. What deodorant makes you laugh? Well, the question makes me laugh because why would that be a thing that deodorant's trying to get you to do is laugh? I can't say that I can think of very many brands I'm going to say Secret. It could be Speed Stick. Would it be for a man or a woman, do you think? I don't know. I can't think of any others besides Dove. Like, was Dove around back then for deodorant? I don't know. Old Spice? Oh, we could say Old Spice. They would have had products. Let's just say Old Spice. What famous trumpet player hosted the musical variety show Fanfare? Well, shoot. Is Dizzy Gillespie a trumpet player? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of jazz people. And I don't know if he plays the trumpet, but I'm going to say Dizzy Gillespie because that's like the only person I can think of. And it's probably Donny Osmond. I don't know. Does he play an instrument or did he just sing? On what network was the concentration quiz show? Okay, so we only have 3 choices, ABC, CBS, NBC, but I always pick wrong. I am going to go with ABC, just randomly picking ABC. What was the featured law firm in The Defenders? Well, I have no idea. Law firms are usually people's names for the partners, and I didn't watch The Defenders, so we'll say Malloy and McDonald. Just making stuff up. What was the nickname given to the head nurse who starred in MASH? Well, that was Hot Lips Houlihan, right? Now Loretta Swit just died, right? Or maybe if she died in 2025. I guess I don't know how recently it was. Well, let's just look it up, because sometimes when you see death notices, they're not real because there's so much AI going on. And sometimes when you see them, it's like months later. But let's just see when Loretta Swit died. May 30th. Okay, so she did literally just die. She was 87. Oh, she doesn't have any, like in her Wikipedia, it doesn't say any marriages. Oh, yes, it does. She was married from 83 to 95. Okay, personal life and death. Let's see if it says how she died. Oh, it just says she died in her home in New York City. So that was one. So I watched the TV show, but I didn't watch the movie. The movie would have probably been rated R, so I wouldn't have been allowed to watch the movie, but the show, because it was on TV, it was fine. I just remember with her hair, like I did not like her hair in the first several seasons, but near the end of the show, I liked how they did her hair, which that's like a dumb thing to care about. That was the same with Judith Light on Who's the Boss. She had pretty hair, but they just didn't do it very well until the end of that series. Okay. What was WKRP's musical format? Okay, I don't know. And I was born in Cincinnati. I should know everything about this show, but I don't, aside from the fact that it was a radio station. And I know that everything east of the Mississippi has a W at the beginning and everything west of the Mississippi has a K at the beginning of the call sign. But what was their musical format? Well, like, I don't think it was country. So would it have just been rock or something like that? Not oldies. Well, oldies during then, what would that have been? The 50s and the 60s? Easy listening? Is that a category? Maybe I should say easy listening. But no, I'll say classic. Was it even classic rock? I'll just say rock. I don't know. What was Mr. Cleaver's first name on Leave It to Beaver? Well, darn it. I know what his first name in real life. It was Bo, right? because there was a little bit of time where I thought he was handsome. And so I looked him up. But what was his first name on the show? Ward? Ward Cleaver? I'm going to go with Ward. Robin is the secret identity of Dick Grayson on what series? Well, Robin, secret identity. I'm going to have to say Batman, right? But this is terrible. I guess I've never paid attention to what Robin's real name was. Maybe it's Dick Grayson if this turns out to be Batman. So I guess we'll see. Okay, the answers. What deodorant makes you laugh? Tickle. Okay, I never heard of Tickle, and I never would have guessed that, but okay. What famous trumpet player hosted the musical variety show Fanfare? Al Hirt. H-I-R-T. On what, see, I didn't know that person either. On what network was the concentration quiz show? NBC. So of course I picked wrong yet again. I need to just always pick the same one and eventually I'll be right. All right. What was the featured law firm in The Defenders? It was two names, Preston and Preston. I'm doing terrible on this card. What was the nickname given to the head nurse who starred in MASH? It was Hot Lips Houlihan. All right. What was WKRP's musical format? It was rock and roll. I know that's not quite the same as rock, but I'm taking it, okay? What was Mr. Cleaver's first name on Leave It to Beaver? Did I pull it out of the hat? Yes, it was Ward. But it was Bo. Bo. Watch it not be Bo. I don't know why I don't use my voice to text. Why I'm always still in the dark ages typing everything. Leave It to Beaver. Hugh, is that what I said? No, I said Bo. It's Hugh Beaumont, you guys. So that's where the Bo came from. All right, Hugh Beaumont. But he was like significantly older. Like he was probably old enough to be their grandfather when he was doing that show. But he was kind of attractive, don't you think? All right. Robin is the secret identity of Dick Grayson on what series? Yes, it was Batman. Okay, you guys, I started out horrible, but I got the last 4 right. So this is actually a really good card for me. So hopefully you did good yourself. And I want to know, did anybody know it was Tickle? Do you guys remember that? Like, I don't think that's still around, right? All right, well, it's been a little while. Let me go and take a minute to thank my members, and thank you to everybody for helping me earn a YouTube paycheck in May. I really appreciate that because as you can see, I am still buying new things to show you on this channel. And so I want to thank my members, Mary, KT, Julily, Favorites with Laura, Darlene, Hey Everybody, and Pam. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And thank you so much to everybody who keeps watching and just sitting down for a chat with me as we go through my crazy addiction with shopping. And hopefully you saw some things that you liked. Not really, I guess, linkable things in this case. And certainly my YouTube or my Goodwill video next will not be linkable things. But that one I'm hoping will be just kind of, I don't know, I like looking for old things, right? So maybe it'll bring back some memories. Hopefully coming to this channel, even though it's marketed as a haul channel, hopefully it's a feel good. Unless you're not sentimental, and then I guess maybe you don't care. But for those of you that are sentimental, maybe it's like a nice trip down memory lane without you having to have the junk in your house, because I have it all in my house. So, you know, there's that. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your time. I know it's valuable, and for sharing your wisdom, because you do leave me some wisdom in the description below. I do want to say, you guys, I am an introvert. I've told you guys that before, and I I really struggle with talking on the phone. I avoid it like the plague. Like, I will talk on the phone when I have to for work, but I will always try email first. And it makes me super anxious to have to talk on the phone. I do not answer the phone if it's coming from a number I've never seen and never programmed into my phone. And even when it is a number I recognize, a lot of times I let it go to voicemail and then I send a text afterwards because I don't know what it is. It is just hard for me. So there have been a few of you that have emailed me to express that you understand what I'm going through with my mom, you know, because you've gone through it too, and you've given me your phone number and you've offered to talk to me on the phone. And I am sorry, I will not be responding. I will not be calling you, I guess is what I'm saying, because that freaks me out. So I'm perfectly fine emailing or responding in comments, although I will say once I've responded to a comment on YouTube, it doesn't show me new comments. And so then you have to, like, I know there's probably a way I could see new comments, but I don't have it set up that way, I guess. So usually then you would need to leave a new comment to continue a conversation, or you can email me. I don't respond right away, and sometimes I miss it, and you might have to let me know you sent me an email so I can wade through all the junk email that I get. But yeah, that's more my speed. So no offense. Hopefully, I think you're all lovely people that have offered to talk to me on the phone. I can't do that. Well, I can, but I just am not going to, because I don't need to add any stress to my life. But I do really, really appreciate the sentiment and the offer. I just wanted you guys to know that that's something I don't want to do. So anywho, if you're still interested and want to email me, great. But anyway, yeah. So that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll come back for my next episode. So wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself. Bye.